Okay, we're back once.
Oh, good. I was taking a minute. Sorry, I blacked out there. Looking at David's art. I wanted to take a minute look at his art. I really enjoy his acrylics he's done. I like these a lot, David. These are nice. Nice thing about pieces like this that I like. I guess it's the museum part of me coming out, but I love these sequential type things.
Yeah.
A piece stands on its own, but when they're together, there's even more of something going on.
Well,
so I like that.
I had actually thought in the process of painting these, of actually painting them individually, then reassembling them in groups.
Possibility.
Like that,
yeah.
Almost a grid type pattern.
It's almost back to the Mixed-With thing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, tie them all together.
This one is how they start.
The underpainting, yeah.
The underpainting, yeah.
I guess I can see the one on the easel back there now too.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
I'll try to get up. Last time I did this, we went blank, so I'll do this real easily and quickly.
We'll see that real quick now.
You can see how the glazing is put on. That's the very beginning of a painting. Okay, now we can go to your.
Well, first, if you don't broadcast again, we're gonna get it. All right, Boudreaux. Let me brag a minute. One of the things coming up tonight is we have our helpers behind the scenes, Bodine and Boudreaux, and both are very talented, have artistic abilities. And we just want to share with you a little bit tonight some good things I've been doing. So I thought it'd be fun to share that. So Boudreaux, let's see if it'll let us play my video. Let's find it. We don't guarantee anything. You know the ghost thing?
Our contest began 6 years ago when we asked kids and teens to tap into their artistic side and paint a picture that depicted their favorite activity that involved water. We saw everything from swimming to surfing to playing in the sprinkler. This year we had a very impressive group of artwork to choose from. We received more than 260 entries from artists ages 6 to 18. They were all very creative and reflected a wide range of interests. The work was displayed at Bel Air Mall, where our celebrity judges had an opportunity to evaluate them. It was a very big job, and we'd like to acknowledge them and their efforts and allow them to make some comments. I'd like to introduce Paul Richardson, who is a first-time judge from the Mobile Museum of Art.
As you know, education is a part of all art museums in America. So we value and we ourselves exhibit in January and February for Youth Art Month, young artists. But it's fun to get out into the community and be a judge.
Next, in the 17 to 18-year-old age group, Karen Thomas of Cottage Hill Christian Academy. She's the winner for the artwork titled The Snorkeler's Surprise.
Talk to me, voting. All right.
We're back on.
Okay, we're good. We're back. Well, hey, I want a round of applause for our production crew. Not only do they help us, but they're out there doing things in the art world. We got a couple of upcoming artists, photographers, hey, watercolor painting, drawing, not bad. And on top of it, they're smart too. So hey,
Most of the time.
Most of the time. So I'm going to take a minute to just brag on Bodine and Boudreaux. Thank you for all you do for us. And I want to share something that kind of happened this week or a week and a half ago. Sitting at work, got an email coming in, and somebody goes, well, what do you think of this? And the problem was there was nothing there. I wrote back, well, I don't know what to think. Nothing came through. They sent it back, and it turned up to be a drawing that I did back long ago, and I almost had to say how long ago, 1973. When I was in high school. And I hate to admit it, but I had to look at it a while to remember that I even did it. But the good thing was I had enough sense to write my name legibly and put the date on the drawing. It was a graphite drawing. And so I wrote back, I said, yeah, that's mine. I did it. How did you come by it? And he wrote me back a little bit of the provenance, the history, and it turned out that an economics professor at a local university had it. I don't know how he got it. I don't remember selling it. I don't remember giving it away. I really don't know how he ended up with it. But he had it. He loved it. He ended up moving out to, I believe it was San Antonio, Texas, or Phoenix, Arizona, one of the two, but out to the west. And had it for years out there. He and his wife loved it, and their daughter loved it, and their daughter got married, and she and her new husband would come and visit. And the new husband liked it, and they kept talking about how much they liked it and hoped someday they could have it. Well, the gentleman, the economic professor, as time went by, his wife passed away, and he ended up moving back into a retirement home and just didn't have room for everything. So he gave it to the daughter and her husband. And then they ended up taking it to Indiana, of all places. So this thing's been around, but what was fun to hear, the gentleman wrote me back, he told me that the reason he wanted to know about it, if I was the artist, he'd been over to the Louvre with his wife, and it made them start thinking, as they looked at original art, what did they have that was an original piece? And they knew it was a drawing, so they contacted me, and I was able to tell them I'm the fellow that did it. But what was fun is he talked to me about how much that meant to people all those years, how his father-in-law treasured it, his mother-in-law, it meant a lot to them, it was a part of their home. The young lady grew up with it, it meant a lot to her, and she has it in her home now. And that really, I thought, well, you know, it's neat to know, even though you may not remember doing something, what you do can, in art, can make somebody happy. And I just thought that meant a lot to me, and it's kind of led me up. We've been talking about some ideas of random acts of art. It's an idea we're going to get into more with you later. But we've got some things we want to do that are kind of like that, how art can be a part of somebody's life. It's something you have in your home, you share, you pass it from family member to family member or to friend. Kind of a little hint there. It's something we're going to be talking about later. And so, do you guys want to add anything to that? Have I enticed them enough? Or I don't want to get too deep into it.
When you do an art piece or a body of work, it carries a story. Because once you release it, you never know where that piece is going to end up.
You don't know.
And that's part of the provenance. And if more people keep track of things like that, especially when you have resale, is that you never know what that story behind that piece. And I know I've had pieces that ended up in Arizona in thrift stores that you wondered, how did that happen? And then you would have that same piece that's being treasured by someone that's going to pay much more than what that person got from it at a thrift store. Like a couple of months ago, case in point where a guy was in a thrift store in Arizona and found 3 of my pieces, and he probably got them for maybe less than what, $30.
Hey.
But when he put them on eBay, he ended up making a couple $1,000s off of them because his people out there know what he got, which he didn't know what he had.
Some people don't.
So those kind of stirs, kind of, you know, that when it get back to the artist, it's like, what is this is all about?
Well,
You know, where's this thing been? Because you're going into another hand, you know, maybe 30-some years, 3 different people, and trying to find that stir, you know, is amazing if you can ever get your hands on it.
Well, it's like you said, we don't know where they end up. We have no control over that. Yeah.
But when you have stories like that, you know, you got to have them documented, and that carries a lot of weight.
You know, David's had the same thing, right? You've had.
Yeah, you found a
Yeah, that's
nice,
true.
one of my nicer pieces in basically a yard sale.
Well, it was an upscale attic sale,
Attic
what they
sale,
call it.
yeah, for an art
And I did come
organization.
across one of David's large silk screens, and I knew what it was, and they didn't. And I
Yeah.
asked them what they wanted for it, and I was quite glad to pay that for it. And it's a piece I didn't have, and I'm glad to have it. So one thing too, working in the museum world, let me tell all the artists out there, the creative people, please, when you make a piece of art, sign your name legibly so people can read
Front
it
and back.
and put a date on there.
Yeah, right.
Because you never know where your art's going to end up. And that's how that man found
See,
me.
these pieces are signed
Yeah.
on the front
And on the back.
and on the back.
Because you would not believe how many pieces we will get in the museum world. You literally cannot read the name. It's just totally, you think a doctor, alright, I'm going against the doctor, here's the cliche, but you know, take time to sign it, so, because you don't know where it's going to end up.
Another little piece
You don't
of
know.
advice.
Well, even with a lot of artists, you know, the first thing you want to do is, that's if they want to call themselves an artist, but a true artist would actually do a body of work.
Right.
So if it's not signed or if it's been altered, they could compare those pieces.
You can. That's true.
So some people call themselves an artist, they do one piece here, then they go out and do something that's totally against the grain, but it's not a body of work. So if they stay within a certain framework compared to something similar to what David has got, you can take those pieces, butt them up together, one signed, one may not be because it's been altered.
Right.
Then you have that authenticity that you can say this is a Simmons.
Right.
And there's a number of artists that's not educated towards that. They thinking they just doing stuff because it's God's gift, and then they end up losing it down through the years because they don't have that provenance and
You know,
documentation.
the older you get, like I was saying, to kind of get back to what I started with, is the fact, you know, even though it was a drawing I did as a young man in high school, alright, it meant a lot to these people. And that's it's nice to know that something you've done is of value to somebody, and it's not just the money. They actually live with the piece and love the piece, and it's like a family treasure.
Right.
And you just, that meant a lot to me.
Yeah,
and
I've
so,
had people email me too about, well, I bought this print from you 35 years ago.
Right.
And we still have it, we still enjoy it. It makes you feel good.
Yeah, so part of that idea is we're going to lead up to some ideas we've got later to come up that we'll share with our folks that watch, and it's part of our random acts of art, is what we like to call it. But we're just trying to tease you a little bit with that tonight, and we'll get into the details soon.
Did you bring up the drawing? We haven't
Oh
looked
yeah,
at
did they ever? Yeah, let's let them look at the drawing, Buddha. I guess we didn't show them the drawing.
Give a good
It's
long look at that.
It's a graphite pencil drawing. This is actually was in the email that was sent to me. And let's see if we can get that on the screen.
It's
We're trying.
coming up.
It's almost
There it is,
just
right.
upside down.
And he sent that to me. Like I said, it was so long
Upside
ago.
down.
I hate to admit it. I basically, if I hadn't seen it, I couldn't have told him what it was. But it had my name on it.
It's upside down again.
It's upside down. Well, turn your computers over.
Yeah, if you're on a
Stay on
laptop,
your
it's a
head.
lot easier.
Yeah. It's upside down. We don't know why. We're having some of our technical fun tonight. Our computers are doing what they want to do. But I didn't draw it upside down. But that's the piece.
Well, one thing, the signature followed you,
Yeah.
so that's, and they haven't changed that down to
Yeah, if he hadn't had that though, and he said what made him want to know more about it was the fact, like I said, he'd been to the Louvre, they'd seen a lot of original work, And so it made them think about, well, what do we have for art that's original? And he had some other pieces, but he had one of mine, and it was something they really valued. And like I said, some of the people that owned it have passed away.
Mm-hmm.
But it's good to know as an artist, something you've done that's gone out, it means something to somebody else. So that's something you can't buy. You know, we've all had that experience. And like I said, sign your art, make it legible, so people have that opportunity. Because you never know, you don't know where it's going to go or where it's going to go to. You just don't know. Anything you guys also want to share tonight? Or are we about ready to? Well, we're running up on our 30 minutes mark.
Where's the clipboard that we had? We're going to discuss some hints at least toward some upcoming things.
All right. Well,
one was the random acts of art type.
Yeah, the
We've
random
been
acts of art.
working on the details of this for quite a while.
And the traveling art. Do I need to say more than that?
Yeah, we are going to have some adventurous traveling art coming up.
Possibility of pop-up galleries.
Yep, that's a possibility. There might even be a small, out-of-the-way lending library for art.
You never know what we're going to come up with. That's how come they need to watch and check us out on our Facebook page. Where else can they check us out?
ArtStreamLIVE.com.
Right.
You can check us out on Facebook, ArtStreamLIve on Facebook.
And
the archives we have on YouTube, just put in ArtStreamLIve, you'll find us.
Right, and they'll come up, and we try to upload them to the Ustream and keep them there. So, and we're easy to contact. Emails there, phone numbers if you need to reach us.
ArtStreamLIve.